Hey guys, hope everybody's doing good. Staying here from Rocky Creek. So let's update you today on whether or not we were able to figure out what got all of our meat chickens. And then let's also talk about a couple things going on in the homestead, and also a surprise that I found for the afternoon after I told y'all about us losing all of the meat chickens. So let's go around real quick, check on everybody, and let's get into all that. Apparently a squirrel has decided to become friends with the chickens. I tell you what guys, it is cold and it is windy today. We had been having temperatures around the 60s, even up to 70, but this morning it was in the 20s, and it's only supposed to get up into about the 40s today with a lot of wind, but then after that we start tearing back up. So a lot of people have been asking about when we were going to start our seeds and start our plants. Well, those temperatures are still a little bit all over the place for us right now. So I'm going to be holding off for probably about another week or two, and then we're going to probably start some seeds. Girls are laying fantastic right now. It's early. Now, I keep getting these itty bitty, I'm not sure which chicken's laying it, but I keep getting these itty bitty little green eggs. And it's got to be one of the Easter eggers, most likely. But I thought it was a fluke when I only saw one. But now this is probably like the fourth or fifth one I've gotten in the last couple weeks. So I'm not sure what's going on with the chicken, and I don't know which one it is. So I'm very curious to find out who's laying these tiny eggs. I've cracked them open, and every time it's just kind of like the whites. There's never a yolk in it. So I'm not really sure what's causing her to lay so many of these. So if y'all have an idea, let me know in the comment section below, because it's starting to seem like a normal occurrence. Q-tip, what are you doing, girl? Henry, Olivia, you about ready to have a boyfriend? No, I'm not talking about you, brother. You're just her friend. You're not able to have babies. So the pigs are doing great. Nothing changed with them. I did reach out to our area university that has the large animal clinic that of course has fixed Henry and castrated our prior pigs. Because this will be our first time trying to breed, I've reached out to them. I'm trying to line up for them to come to our property. They do offer that service. I want them to look over Olivia really good, make sure that she is indeed to the weight and that she is matured to the level that she should be to have a successful pregnancy, and also to provide her what supplementation is needed to make sure that we have the best success possible when it comes time. So I don't plan to use them every time, but I think it's going to be good for us to educate ourselves properly from a professional the first time, and then I'll know what to do for every time moving forward. So I'm waiting on the call back. The way they do it is the vet themselves calls you directly, and they kind of make their own schedule. So I'm kind of waiting on that call back, and hopefully we can share some of that with y'all once we hear from them. I don't know where Mater is. I think he's asleep. Let's check on him. What up, big dog? Good morning. Holy moly, look at that face. How are you? Man, you're a good looking man. Hey, you got a little something on your nose there, brother. Talking about potential of breeding Mater and Olivia, I did read too that pigs being in the proper weight is very important, because if they're overweight, it can affect their fertility. So I have actually reduced a little bit of Mater's food, and he's kind of thinned out quite a bit. I don't know the exact amount that he has, but he's definitely more lean than what he was last summer. I noticed looking at pictures and talking to other breeders, he wasn't way overweight, but he was a little bit overweight. And to give us the best chance possible, I've reduced his feed a little bit over the course of months, and now Mater is looking a whole lot more healthy, and so hopefully that'll increase our chances too when the time comes. Hopefully you can notice he's kind of more of a straight line across his side versus before he was quite a bit round. Now don't get me wrong, he's still quite a large fella, but he's definitely much more of a healthy largeness instead of more of a fat type largeness. So I think he's a studly man. Ain't that right, brother? So you a good looking man. Let's go ahead and talk meat bird topic. While we're here, did I find out what actually got our meat birds? So guys, unfortunately, I did not find out what actually got my meat birds. We set the game camera up in 2 different locations. I did the tree across the way from it, and then I also did on one of Mater's posts pointed towards it. I ended up, over the course of 4 days, I ran the game camera, and unfortunately the only images that I was able to capture were a few deer in the area. I saw no indications of signs of digging or anything of that nature, and so I'm not really sure what ultimately happened and what got them. But one surprise I did find later on the day after I recorded with you all is not every meat bird was taken. Check this out. We still have one. So yeah, guys, I have one meat bird, and nothing has came and got it since then. So here's what my plan ended up being. The day that I noticed all of them were gone, I immediately ordered another batch of meat chickens. I actually ordered 2 batches. Cornish cross were not in my initial plan. I wanted to try out the gray broilers. Gray broilers are estimated to be at processing weight at 12 weeks. Cornish cross are 8 weeks. So I went ahead and ordered all the Cornish crosses for the first batch, and I ordered gray broilers for a second batch in the summer. The Cornish crosses should be here next week. Once I get those guys up and going for a few weeks, I'm gonna integrate them in with this one, so he's not gonna be by himself, and that should put him and all the Cornish crosses at processing time right at the same time, because this will be about 4 weeks after. So 8 and 4 gives me my 12. So that's the plan. So a little bit of positivity news. So where was this guy at? My only guess is he did have a small injury to his leg. It's already healed up. He's doing good. I'm guessing that he must have hid underneath this little wooden ledge that the water was sitting on, and maybe I didn't see it, because when I did end up finding him, he made a little bit of a noise, and when I looked, that's where he was when I found him. So I said I haven't started any of my seeds yet, but that doesn't mean that we're not starting on garden prep. I got the belts changed on my tiller. I just need to change the fluids in it now, and it'll be ready to go. And in the meantime, I ended up coming down here, and I mowed down the tall grasses around the garden, and you can see our L-shaped garden here. It's pretty good size. And I also took our rabbit manure, and I have spread it all over the entire garden, letting that sit, and we're going to till that in. So you can see all across this garden, I've got rabbit manure all throughout it, spread. Some areas a little heavier than others, but for the most part, all parts of this garden has been covered in rabbit manure. We've had a good bit of rain, so that's been able to break some of it down too, and I'll till it in with what little bit of leaves didn't get chewed up by the mower, and all that organic matter will help feed our garden. What you doing, buddy? What are you doing with bunny ears?
I don't know.
You gonna be the Easter bunny?
No, I found them sitting on my string because I left them outside.
I thought I saw something white over there. I didn't know what it was.
It was the bunny ears.
I've had a few projects going on too. Let me show you a couple of those things and show you what we've got going on with those. So I had a lot of scrap material laying around, and we're so far behind. I didn't do the recording of this because I just want to get stuff done, and I'm a couple weeks behind, so I can't record every little thing I do working full time. So some things I'm just having to get it done, and I'll try to share it with you as best I can. But using some scrap material that I had, fence pickets, 2x4s, and pallet, and some leftover wire, is I started making this little small A-frame duck house or chicken house just to have on hand since I had the materials. I kind of know what I would like to do with it. I think it's just a matter of if I'm going to have time this year to add what I want. I'd really like to put ducks in it, but I think it's going to come down to whether I have time to mess with another animal. But while I had the materials on hand, it's not costing me anything other than the roof sheeting that I bought, which was like 18 bucks. So otherwise, this was materials I had on hand. So we just did a basic A-frame on the pallet. I just basically tacked these in directly in, brought the A-frame up, tied it into a cross piece. I will run one more 2x4 right here for a center support before I run the sheeting and roofing material. Like I said, I got the one window here for ventilation. This is just fence pickets. And then this will be the framing for the door that I did. This board just stops the door from falling inwards towards the coop. And then from right here, I just ran 2 hinges. The door is recessed to help keep some rain off of it. And then, Madison, you push it from the inside. Then it will just drop out like so to the ground. Little steps to help with walking if whatever poultry we're running need it, and that will be their door for going in and out. I am still going to put a little handle right here, and the handle will come out, and then I'm going to put an eyelet right here, and I'll have a little hook or a little string to run through to tie it off to be like a lock for them once I get to that point. So, but it'll just drop out and open up like so. For what I did with this A-frame coop, it took me, you know, it was a good solid half of a day of cutting up some of the scrap materials. Really no good measurements. I really made my A-frame and just held the pieces up and would mark them and tacked them up with my nail gun and a few screws. And that's it so far. So yeah, early makings of what could be possibly a small A-frame duck shelter or an extra chicken coop if I need a little extra space to my additional coop for the egg layers that I have that are brooding. So guys, but the biggest thing is you may have noticed all of this stuff in the driveway behind me. I mean, I got some still in the garage, and I got all this stuff. I got all this going on right here. Well, this is the second day of a swing set build for the kids, and there's still another big box in the garage and about 1,000 pieces of hardware. You know, we don't live in a neighborhood. You do see a couple homes around us, but for the most part, we're not in a neighborhood. So our kids can't just run and go play with other kids in the area, because most people who live around us are older. They don't have kids, or if they do, they're like high school age. So our kids do need stuff to do around here. And so we ended up saved up through the holidays, and with the help of some friends and family that pitched in over the holidays, we were able to buy this pretty elaborate swing set for the kids. You can see how much I've been able to get done by myself, but I reached a point where I have to have a buddy come over, because to run the bolts on the platform, somebody's got to do from the top while somebody's doing from the bottom, and my arms aren't long enough, so I'm waiting on a buddy to come help me out. The rabbit shelter is going to get moved back to where it used to be, over there where that little clear spot is, so that'll get that out of the way, and then we can better position the swing set. But this swing set's going to pretty much take me at least all day, and then I also have to do another project for my wife. She's an art teacher at a school, so I need to get some stuff done for her, cutting up a bunch of wood for a project that her and her students are doing. So my weekend's pretty much shot, but I wanted to make sure I gave you an update on whether or not I figured out what got our chickens, and I also thought I'd give you a quick update of a couple projects we got going on around the homestead, and hopefully very soon I'll be a little bit caught up and we can get into gardening, and we can start working on a bunch of other stuff we need to, and hopefully I'll take you along as we finish up the last little bit of that A-frame coop. So guys, I appreciate you coming along. I wish I had more to bring you right now, but you know, life's just happening and I got to get some stuff done. So we hope everybody's doing good. Y'all take care, and as always, we'll see you here very soon on our next video. Y'all be good.